Bear down, Bears fans. We've got another rumor that continues to persist. This rumor continues to be about Emmanuel Ogbah and the possibility that the Chicago Bears could be signing Emmanuel Ogbah to a contract. Now, at this point, as of right now, he remains unsigned. And an article just came out from the Sporting News yesterday evening, and it says the Chicago Bears are looking to strengthen their defensive line. Most of the offseason chatter surrounding the Bears concern their revamped offense. However, there's still a spot available on the defensive line where they are still in need of someone. For Chicago to improve on that 7-10 record, which, by the way, we're getting to a spot now where it's become chic for people to say, well, we think Caleb Williams is going to struggle and that the Bears are going to finish like 8-9 or 9-8 and not have a really good season. Have a better season than the previous, but not have a great season overall. The Bears have solid defensive personnel overall, but one area that could use reinforcements is the defensive line. The Athletic's Kevin Fishbain acknowledged the defensive line as an area of need for Chicago in a report released on Monday. He also suggested that free agent Emmanuel Ogbah would be a good fit for the Bears. General Manager Ryan Poles and Coach Matty Eberflus don't need a full week of camp to know they could use another defensive lineman to get to the passer. Emmanuel Ogbah is a free agent. There isn't a lot of depth on the interior. Ogbah won the Super Bowl in 2020 with the Chiefs. He's a potent pass rusher, having recorded 5.5 sacks last season for the Miami Dolphins. Ogbah would bring win experience to the upstart Bears, not to mention fulfill a gap in their defense. Will Chicago contact Ogbah's camp in the coming days? Now, here's the problem with Emmanuel Ogbah in so much as it's that he's being packaged as a deal to go along with Connor Williams. Now, will it matter? I don't know that it's going to or that it's not going to matter. The way I look at it is actually pretty simple. It is my opinion that the better option here would be Yannick Ngakoue because I think he has an unfulfilled. I don't think that I don't think that Yannick Ngakoue did what he set out to do last season, and I think that he wants to run it back one more time. I think the Bears are probably wanting to run it back with him one more time, and the reason for that, or the reason that I think that is true, is because what they're trying to do is help him. And by the way, Yannick is training at the Bears facilities when they're not in camps or anything. Why haven't they signed Caleb and Rome yet? Don't they need to handle that first? It's irrelevant. Whether they sign Caleb and Roma. Here's the thing. If there was a problem with Caleb Williams or Roma Dunze, then they wouldn't be practicing. They wouldn't have shown up to OTAs. They wouldn't have shown up to mandatory minicamp. They would have been holdouts. They're not holdouts. What they're doing right now is they're just waiting for everybody else to sign so that they sign their contract. And really, it's just basically the language that they want in their contracts. That's all. The salary caps are all in place. Like they're not negotiating money. They're not negotiating special terms or anything like that. It's not that big a deal. It's just a matter of, at this point, time. And by the way, one of those old adages is that the number one pick signs last. So basically, I'm pretty sure that what they're doing right now is just waiting to sign until whatever the last possible day is. They'll be there for training camp. They're not holdouts. They're not against the Bears. They're not, this is not where I want to be. These guys are all in on the culture. They're all in on everything. And by the way, this is an AI-generated picture of Emmanuel Ogbah. And basically, it wasn't really Emmanuel Ogbah, but I put like, what about an angry Chicago Bears guy with number 91? Look at the shoulders. It's like an 81 on one side, an S1 on the other side, and 91 on it. And like, is it not creepy just a little bit? Like, I mean, does it not look? As a matter of fact, if you let me pop this up on the screen here. If you let me show you the original here. If you look at this guy's face. Look at the teeth. Look at those teeth coming out of the helmet, basically. That is one angry looking person. Anyway, it was pretty funny. Oh yeah, by the way, spoiler alert, I got a new AI generator and I'm having just a field day generating AI content with this thing. It's unbelievable. So anyway, so Emmanuel Ogbah is on the radar and Connor Williams is on the radar. Now, the problem with all of this is basically this. Nate Davis. Nate Davis represents $12 million worth of cap space, whether he's on the roster or not. So it is prohibitive to remove him and bench him. It's not pragmatic of a team that is financially constrained because the McCaskies don't have a source of income other than the Chicago Bears. So what you're really looking at here is they most probably will not make this move. It would be something wild to see them do this. In the event that they were to do this, they would probably literally have to get rid of DeMarcus Walker. That's where it fits. I mean, that's the problem with this is the people that I would like to see staying would have to be gone. And Connor Williams and Emmanuel Ogbah, it is possible, by the way, it is possible that Drew Rosenhaus would take them both on 1-year contracts with the Bears so that the Bears would have some flexibility to make something happen. Hoosier Heat Radio says, can you trade Nate to Miami and make the move? Well, Emmanuel Ogbah is a free agent, so you don't have to trade anybody. And if you get rid of Nate Davis, his dead cap money is $12 million. So it doesn't matter whether you trade him or not. It still counts against your salary cap at $12 million. So if you traded him today and you didn't pay him another dime, then $12 million still goes against your salary cap. So you're stuck losing that money no matter what, which is why I think Tom Jerkovich the other day said, no matter what, you're going with Nate Davis. Nate Davis is the guy. You gave him the money. He has to perform and he has to earn that money. Well, my contention here is this. No, he doesn't. There would actually be look, if Kiran and Magaji for any reason was just ready to play and they wanted to make a move at tackle, but they still like Braxton Jones, they could throw Nate Davis to the bench and bring in Braxton Jones at a guard position. Not that they will, or not that that's even a viable option. I'm just saying that there are things that you could do. Now, again, to get Emmanuel Ogbah, Connor Williams, you're not going to have a ton of money to do it with. So you would have to be pretty creative. You would end up, again, DeMarcus Walker probably gone. You can't do anything with Nate Davis. You might probably get rid of Khalil Herbert. You can free up $1 million there. There's not a lot of money, by the way, that you can free up on this roster. So it'd be a complicated and difficult scenario. However, rumors continue to persist. And look, it would not be beyond the McCaskies. It has been so far, but it would not be beyond the McCaskies and Kevin Warren to say, look, we need to go into the luxury tax here, and we need to just ride this out and overpay this year so that we can do some better stuff next year. Larry Borum's at $3 million. So when you look at his number, it's here. I'll let you guys see the financial summary. It's actually pretty specific about what you can and cannot do and where your limitations are. $3 million is freed up from Larry Borum. Larry Borum is 3.1 million, but here's the thing. Only 83,000 counts against the salary cap. That's dead cap money, which means that $3.1 million would be freed up if you were able to make that move. Additionally, there are still people here that you could do something with, but it's going to cost you. Like, there's no circumstance at this point in which you get rid of Montez Sweat. There's no circumstance in which you get rid of Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen, however, he only has $5 million in dead cap money, but we're paying him $23 million. You free up $18 million in cap space by getting rid of Keenan Allen. It's not a thing that we're doing, but the point is that could happen. Tremaine's still got a couple years left on his contract, so his dead cap money is still outrageous. But it's $22 million a year. You're not going to free up anything there. DJ Moore, same thing. You're not doing anything there. Jalen Johnson, no. Cole Kmet, no. Nate Davis is being paid $11.3 million. His dead cap space is $12.75. Now, he does have a contract going through next year, so that's the reason that it's so high, and it's higher than his current salary. So, but if he were traded now, 11 of it, whatever his salary is, would count towards dead cap. So you're not freeing up anything there. You would be kind of stuck. Same thing, DeMarcus Walker. He's got two years left on his contract, so you can't do that one either. at best. You got a couple of guys on the roster here along the way. Andrew Billings, but you can't get rid of him. I mean, you got no room there. Ryan Bates, $4 million, but you just got him. There's limited. There really is limited options with what you can do with this roster at this point. And as you look down here, you'll see you have $21.674 million in cap space, but you're going to sign for $9 million and $6 million. So you got $15 million getting ready to go to Rome Odunze and Caleb Williams. So that leaves about $5 million to take into the season just in case of a catastrophic event. So let's just say that catastrophic event, we're looking at that, right? Well, if we decide that we're going to just take the shot, we're just going to take that shot, then yes, you could, in theory, you could pop Larry Borum out, $3 million. You can release Khalil Herbert, which, by the way, is about $1 million and 32,000 accounts against it. And look, I don't dislike, by the way, Khalil Herbert, but he doesn't really serve the same purpose on this roster that it was before. Roshan Johnson has done a fabulous and remarkable job of being more like DeAndre Swift, exactly what they needed while still being able to run with power and strength. Now, the other thing is, and I don't believe I'm saying this, but Velus Jones Jr. has been having a good offseason, and apparently so is Travis Homer. Now, neither one of them are going to be starters, but they've had some good moments in practice. So you can make some moves, but your moves are limited. It's going to be Emmanuel Ogbah, Connor Williams. It's going to be one of those guys really taking a discount if you want to see something good happen there. Otherwise, who knows? But Emmanuel Ogbah back on the radar. Also up, Cole Kmet is talking about Caleb Williams. And look, I know a lot of you guys don't like Caleb Williams, and I actually get it because you were a fan of Justin Fields, or you don't like the fact that he paints his nails to honor his mother. There are little pieces that you don't like Caleb Williams. And here's the thing. No matter what we currently think, he's going to have to win some games. Once he starts winning some games, all of that's going to disappear. Like we know. Crimson asks, who doesn't like Caleb? Dude, let me tell you something. I'll put it to you this way. If I put out a video, and if I done even a while back, if I put out a video with Justin Fields on the cover, it got 5,000 to 10,000 views. I put something with Caleb Williams on the cover, it got 500 to 800 views. So I assure you, there are a lot of people that do not like Caleb Williams in the city of Chicago, and they are waiting to see him do something. There are people who, and they will get over it, by the way. Again, victory will change things, but there's a lot of people out there right now that just don't like the fact that Justin Fields is gone. And as silly as it might be, as obvious as it is in hindsight that had to be the move, no matter what, they still do not like the fact that Justin Fields is not here. And by the way, it doesn't matter any of the rumors that come out. It doesn't matter if Pittsburgh has him as a third stringer. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter any of that. What matters is this was Justin Fields' job. He didn't get a fair shake in Chicago. The fans who loved him, and he was really loved by a lot of people, the fans who loved him are still resentful of the fact that they made that move and brought in Caleb Williams and got rid of him. So there are people out here that just do not like it. Anyway, so expectations are high for the Bears rookie Caleb Williams, who's now carrying the weight of decades of quarterback woes into this season. But the pressure is nothing new for Williams. Now, Cole Kmet was interviewed by Sirius XM NFL Radio and talked about minicamp and the OTAs. And Cole Kmet said this: you can see why he's been so successful thus far in his football career and why he has those types of intangibles to succeed in the NFL. I'm really excited for him. He's been putting in a lot of work, and you can see the progress he was making throughout OTAs and minicamp. Now, despite Houston Texans CJ Stroud's success during the rookie season, that is not the norm in the NFL. But if there is a rookie who's in position to have that kind of success, it is Caleb Williams. The Bears have done everything they can to put Williams in a position to succeed, and he enters the league in perhaps the best situation ever for a number one overall pick. Chicago has an arsenal of weapons at their disposal, including DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze, DeAndre Swift, along with an improved offensive line and a potential top 10 defense. Now, uh, remember, the defense was ranked number 11 overall by Pro Football Focus going into the season. And not only that, but the offensive line was also in the top half of the league. No one's expecting perfection from Caleb Williams out of the gate, but he's in a position to do what quarterbacks before him have failed to do, to establish himself as a franchise quarterback for the Chicago Bears. So Cole Kmet seems to be pretty excited with what he sees so far on the field. So that's going to be very nice. And Demond Dice says Caleb going to win the doubters over by week 3. If the Bears struggle early, then there's going to be a lot of pushback and a lot of people saying that I knew it was going to be a messed up. And it's not. I don't think it's going to be because of. Look, I think the future is very bright. The more I watch Caleb Williams, the more I see him interact with fans, the more I see everything that's going on with Caleb Williams, the more bullish I become on the fact that the Bears are probably turning a corner right now, and that for the next 4 to 5 years, the Bears are going to be a serious contender. Will they be that 13-4 team that I say they're going to be into this season? I don't know for sure. You never really know until you see the product on the field and you see what they put together, how they react, how they break apart other teams, and do they have it in them to will themselves to victory, even in the face of certain defeat. Remember, Detroit did it last year against us. So, can we have those moments? Well, look, the biggest problem, at least in my estimation, of that team last year was the quarterback was not getting it done. The quarterback was not scoring that extra touchdown per game. One more touchdown per game changes the complete dynamic of the Chicago Bears team and puts them in a much better position. In fact, with those scores, with one more touchdown per game, the Chicago Bears last season would have been an okay scoring offense. Like, they wouldn't have set the world on fire. They would have been okay, but they would have won 4 additional games, turning this 7-10 team into an 11-6 team, eliminating Green Bay from the playoffs, and it would be the Bears would be the talk of the NFL. Not just because of Caleb Williams. They would be the talk of the NFL because of how they scored and did everything, but they didn't. The fact is, you saw the points that were left on the field. We can look at Velus Jones. We can look at the big miss that he had. We can look at Robert Tonyan. We can look at the big miss that he had. We can look at Tyler Scott's drops. We can look and we can find different places where there were errors and mistakes made by the other players not named Justin Fields. But then we have to go back and we really have to look at how long Justin Fields held the ball and all of the little pieces. If we're just a little better here, a little better here, a little better here. If we're a little better here, the sack doesn't happen. If we're a little better here, the pressure doesn't happen. If we're a little better here, then we move the ball down the field just a little bit more. We get that extra first down. All of those things. And by the way, when you do that, you take the defense off the field too. And the defense by proxy becomes better because they're not getting worn out on the field. All of those kind of things. I mean, again, look, it doesn't go. Nothing says that you're not ready for it more than what happened with Detroit last season. 3 separate opportunities up 26-14 with 4 minutes and 54 seconds left. You just had to close out the game. You just had to close out a game, and you couldn't do it. You couldn't move the ball enough just to get a first down. Like, just consider, all you have to do is burn some timeouts. All you have to do is figure out a way in 2 possessions to burn 4 minutes and 54 seconds, and you don't do it. And then on your 3rd possession, you get sacked on the first play, fumble the ball through the end zone. Well, Larry Borum, I think, kicked it through the end zone, or Nate Davis kicked it through the end zone. But the point is, it was still points that you didn't need to give up. You had an opportunity, and that's what Caleb Williams brings. I don't think that he brings that same type of danger, if you will, that Justin Fields brought into this team, where, on an off day, he doesn't have it. You know what I mean? Caleb Williams finds ways to get himself into the game in a different prospect, in a different way. So I think this team is far better this year than it was last year. Now, CBS Sports is piling on because, like, the trendy take now is for everybody to say that the Bears are just going to be okay, maybe, wink, wink, nod, nod. because that's now going to be chic. So, given the downtime on the NFL calendar, the hottest takes of the month so far, with multiple experts from CBS, believe that the Bears will be among the teams that are going to fail to meet expectations. Brian Diardo from CBS Sports says, I'm leery when it comes to putting too high of expectation on a rookie starting quarterback, which is that what Caleb Williams will be this season. Add in the fact that they play in one of the NFL's toughest divisions is another reason why I'm hesitant to buy too much Bears stock this season. Talk to me in 2025 after Williams has a full season under his belt. You know what? That's a fair estimate. I don't think that that's going to be a problem, but I think it's fair to say that there's going to be more people coming up with that same sort of expectation. And, everybody, even if you're saying to me, hey, I don't think 2024 is going to be as great a season as anybody would think, guess what? They're still saying, well, you know what? 2025 is going to be awesome. So, and again, if Caleb Williams takes that big leap up from, from first year player, from rookie to, second year player, second year veteran, then, this could be a fantastic run. As leery as you maybe want to be about the casting expectation on a rookie quarterback, the fact remains that the Bears won 7 games with poor quarterback play. That what many seem to forget is that Williams does not have to be great. Even if Williams is at the floor of his potential during the 2024 season, that would still be better production than the Bears have had at the quarterback position in the last bunch of years. Not only would that be the case, but if the defense is slightly better, if the offensive line is just slightly better, there are so many different great things around this quarterback this time. And there's so many people that are being dismissive of the record that the Bears had. And I'm telling you guys, this team was so much closer to being recognized as a good team than any of us at first realized or looked at. But I mean, you go back and you start to break down games and see how close they were, then you start to realize, damn, this team actually really was just right there on the cusp. They just couldn't get over it. And the reason for that was the quarterback play over and over and over again. Now, we also blame Luke Getsy a lot because he was not calling the right game for Justin Fields, and we got rid of both of them. So I think this team is going to shock a lot of middling sort of people who are just wondering or just thinking like, well, I don't think they're going to be that good. Yeah, well, you're stupid, bro, because they're going to look. I'm telling you again, 13 wins. This is going to be a team that's going to shock people. The other case, however, was made by Jordan Dajani at CBS Sports, and he said Caleb Williams may end up being a star, but will he hit the ground running? Chicago has a head coach fresh off the hot seat and a new offensive coordinator. Quarterback selected number 1 overall haven't surpassed 6 wins in their first NFL season since Andrew Luck in 2012, and the NFC North isn't a cakewalk. That is just nonsense. Like, I get what the guy's saying. I understand what he's saying and why, but to discount the fact that everything that you know about the Chicago Bears, or everything that you should know about the Chicago Bears, would tell you that they've turned a corner. To not be witnessing that and to not see that from Jordan Dajani is almost irresponsible from this guy as an analyst, or is he an analyst? I don't know how you pronounce it. I assume you pronounce it anal when you talk stupid shit like that. So, you know what I mean? So we'll see how this all plays out. But we don't have a lot of news to cover, so we're going to cover this last piece right now, and that is that Simone Biles just had a thing coming out saying that the Bears had granted Jonathan Owens time off from training camp to see the Olympic. Now, I thought, wow, like if there's anybody who really needs to be in training camp, it's going to be a new guy on a new team, needing to learn a new system, needing to get ready, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. However, I am told that he's only going to be there for 3 days. So he will miss 3 days of practice. So, you know what I mean? There we go. Shane Waldron offense put scores of 51, 48, and 37 on the Lions 3 straight years. This is what I say about, look, it is my opinion that we owned the Lions, that we had an opportunity. If we had just closed out that first game, clearly 28-13 on the second game, we absolutely annihilated that team for 7 of 8 quarters. And really for 7.5 of 8 quarters, we absolutely dominated the Detroit Lions, and I think that it's going to stay that way. The difference here is they were able to come back because we were just outcoached, and the defense got lazy towards the end of that game. And look, you can't stop everything all the time. Teams are going to have runs, and we could have, again, we could have. This is offense. The offense should have just run the clock out. You can't just you can't just go three and out, and just not even give up. Like, it's not even time. You know what I mean? Like, it was embarrassing to watch that thing play out. So, I think that we're going to see a better team. I think that things are going to be better. I think that we own Detroit. That's at 2 easy wins. I think the Minnesota games are going to be 2 easy wins. Of course, I'm a little concerned about who's the quarterback there right now, Sam Darnold, because Sam Darnold, lighten up that clock, and yesterday somebody said that Sam Darnold was going to have a better season than Caleb Williams. So I'm still I'm over that one. Anyway, so Simone Biles going to be at the Olympics. Jonathan Owens going to spend 3 days over there, so he will miss some of the camp. But I mean, he's a backup. Getting acclimated to it as a backup might be a little bit different. It would be better if he were here, but I mean, it's the Olympics. I certainly understand. And they seem to be all in on the city of Chicago. You can see here they're with the White Sox right now. They've been to Cubs games already. And I mean, she's already running around with Bears gear on. So I think this, I think this is a great opportunity for exposure for the team, for the Chicago Bears. So that's it for the day, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you like this content, make sure you hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe if you want to. Hit the bell to be notified. We're going to do this live every day at 10:30. Again, today, most of these days, we don't really have too much to talk about because we're in that transitionary phase. We're getting into practices pretty soon. We've got a couple weeks left. When we get into the practices, then these are going to be much more, because we're going to have a lot to go over during that period of time. But the most important thing you can do to help me, if you like the content, hit that like button. And remember, bear down and fuck Green Bay. And we'll talk to you again